Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Aiden. Welcome back to another video. Now, I've seen a lot of people now with Mega Leech out and the end scene, sort of with Adrien and his father. They're like, ooh, I think that this means that the Sentimonster theory is actually more plausible now because of the ring. Maybe the ring is the Sentimonster control item or whatever. Now, if you know me, you know I absolutely despise this theory because it just doesn't make sense as far as a show standpoint, right? Why would the creator of a show make one of the main characters a Sentimonster? Which, sure, it makes sense, right? Like the theory itself does make sense from a logistical standpoint, but from a standpoint of you're making a show, especially where the two main characters have a love interest, making Adrien a Sentimonster essentially just takes that romance out of the show, because it doesn't work like that, right? That's just not, it just wouldn't work. Okay, so that's why I hate this theory. It just doesn't work well with the show, and like the whole idea, like, oh, you know, Adrien in the future getting together with Marinette, it just wouldn't work if he's a Sentimonster. Okay, now with that out of the way, the main purpose of this video is Thomas on Twitter actually made a whole little thread here talking about the Sentimonsters and essentially just like what they are. So hopefully through this, we can now maybe collectively agree that this theory is absolute garbage. Now, Thomas starts off by saying, I see a lot of questions about Sentimonsters, and as usual, you're making it more complicated than it is. A Sentimonster is an emotion transformed into a living being. It can be anything depending on the original will of the Peacock Miraculous. Now, he goes on to say, it is controlled by the owner of the object in which the Amok is in, and only the holder of the Peacock Miraculous can feel a Sentimonster. If he/she doesn't own the control object, he/she can still destroy it. Next, he says, if Cataclysm, it breaks the link with its owner and goes berserk. And then he concludes with saying, basically nothing new under the sun. Everything has been shown already in Ladybug and Feast, and yada, yada, yada. So he basically is just going through the rules of the Peacock Miraculous, which is nice to see it out in written form. Like, I mean, we could have gathered this stuff, but it's nice to see that this is like the official rule list of the Peacock Miraculous. Now, the first point here, a Sentimonster is an emotion transformed into a living being. Now, yes, technically all of these points that he put out here would still qualify Adrien to potentially be a Sentimonster, with the exception of potentially a Cataclysm, because as we know from Miraculous, Cat Noir was Cataclysm before. Now, in this whole thread, there was a lot of people talking, and one of the side threads that a group of fans started talking about was, you know, obviously the start of it was, oh, is Adrien a Sentimonster? And then someone replied with saying, I don't think so, because when a Sentimonster gets Cataclysm, it goes crazy, and Adrien got one as Cat Noir and nothing happened. And then somebody responded to that saying he was Cataclysm by Miraculous Cataclysm, which is what we had just been talking about, right? And then they said a weaker one, which is what Miraculous Cataclysm was. Now, Thomas actually came out and said that he often reads that Miraculous Cataclysms were fake, or that it wasn't the real version of the power, but he actually confirmed that it was not a weaker version. It was a direct copy of a Cataclysm. So the Cataclysm that Miraculous did on Cat Noir was the real Cataclysm. Now, the reason why Cat Noir did not get like severely injured is because the suits of the Miraculous holders make them nearly invulnerable, so it protected him. So then this sort of starts a debate to where, well, if he was a Sentimonster, right, but he was transformed as Cat Noir, does that mean that the suit protected him, and that means that he wouldn't go berserk because of the suit? Or regardless of if he was wearing the suit, if he is cataclysmed, then he would still go berserk. Now, going back to the original thread where Thomas was sort of listing the rules, let's talk about this other one. Only the holder of the Miraculous of the Peacock can feel a Sentimonster. That line is very important because if, you know, Hawkmoth, or Shadow Moth, I should say, when using the Peacock Miraculous, obviously he owns the Peacock Miraculous, and then when Natalie was using the Peacock Miraculous, if they can feel Sentimonsters, shouldn't that mean that they would know that Cat Noir is a Sentimonster if Adrien is a Sentimonster? Now that sort of goes back to what we were just talking about as far as, you know, if the Cat Noir suit sort of protects him and sort of like, I guess, enhances him and makes him not feel like a Sentimonster. But I feel like fundamentally it's hard to get rid of your roots, right? Like if you were a Sentimonster and you just used a Miraculous, I know that the Miraculous has quantum masking, but still I feel like since fundamentally you are a Sentimonster, you would still be able to feel that. So that to me sort of debunks this theory already. But again, I guess you could argue that, oh well, it's because he was using the Cat Noir Miraculous, which is, you know, why he could still feel it. And someone may also counter the whole like, oh well, Cat Noir, the suit sort of protects him from that, and say, well, since Gabriel can feel, you know, the Mox when he's using the Peacock Miraculous, or I guess if he just owns it, then wouldn't he be able to detect Adrien in his house? And then as soon as Adrien transforms into Cat Noir, that detection goes away. Wouldn't he like sort of notice that and wonder what's up with that? Like, why is he not suddenly detecting Adrien anymore? So you could counter like that. So that's another reason why I just don't think that this theory makes a whole lot of sense. And then just sort of as like a little closing note, Thomas added, "It's crazy. Whatever I say, you'll always twist my words to fit your theories. Whatever they are, you're helpless." Basically making fun of people who believe in this theory, okay? So hopefully throughout this video, you're like, oh, okay, maybe this theory doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You know, from a story standpoint, it doesn't make sense for, you know, a Sentimonster and Marinette to get together and have a romance plot with that. It just wouldn't work. So that doesn't make sense. And then through some of these points, there are a few things with, you know, first of all, Cat Noir being cataclysmed, and then, you know, Gabriel being able to detect Adrien if he's a Sentimonster. There's those two things. So those two things working together, and then Thomas on top of that making fun of people, you know, being like, ah, you're hopeless, you're making stupid theories. Guys, this is not a good theory, okay? And it annoys me. I see so many videos. I never watch them. I don't watch other people's videos, by the way. But I just see so many like titles and thumbnails like, oh, Adrien's a Sentimonster. I'm like, guys, it doesn't make sense. It's not true. Don't buy into it, okay? So hopefully this video helps clear that up. Send this to anybody that you know is like, or who is like, yeah, Adrien's a Sentimonster. Yeah, because hopefully this just debunked it. So yeah. All right, well, thanks for watching. Just want to make this quick video explaining that. I'll see you in the next one.
Did ya? Was about to, but